guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're doing a good old-fashioned get ready with me. And I was really inspired by Angelica Nyquist's new video she did. Well, it's not new now by the time this goes up, but she did a video using old viral products, and it made me want to reach for modern renaissance so bad. Well-loved palette over here. And I haven't pulled out in so long, and she inspired me to reach for it and pull out good old Luminos. So yeah, we got those two to play with today, and then I pulled some other older favorite products that were kind of viral-ish. NARS Laguna, which of course is always NARS's never gonna die product. This and Orgasm will never die. And I pulled out Wet n Wild highlighter. This is one of their super blinding highlighters. Man, she made me want to use Drink Matte Mousse so bad. I know I used that back when I was in junior high, and I have zero memory of it other than it not looking good. Man, maybe you just want to go look for it and try it out now. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started on our look. And you know what? Another older viral product we can use. Brownie from Marc Jacobs. I bought this right before they went out of business, so it's not that old in my collection, but I feel like this is such a good brown. We're going to start our look with this, and I'm going to do a little bit of some eyeliner and get things going. And I'm going to be doing my eyes first. But yeah, just good old-fashioned hang out and get ready. And what am I getting ready for? Absolutely nothing. I'm getting ready to probably go to bed soon. I've already primed my eyes, by the way, with a bit of the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow pencil and shell. I love this brown so much. I'm gonna need to find a dupe. This is just that perfect, warm, toasty, actual brown. It doesn't read as black, it reads as brown. It has such a nice warmth to it. And we're gonna do that to kind of get our shape started. I want my lash line kind of smoky. All right, I'm gonna bring that all the way in to the inner corner. I am using a brush to blend the edges and soften that out some. Good starting point. Now I jump over to E25. Talk about viral products, the E25 from Sigma. That was a really viral popular product. And first I'm going to go into Tempera, which is this one right here that has Hit Pan. And I'm going to take that under the brow bone. It's a beautiful satin matte. I think it barely has a shine to it. Just enough. It's just a very flattering formula. I love these types of shades from ABH. They have that slight satin in there. Just keeps them from being chalky looking. Now let's take a bit of Burnt Orange. I haven't used that shade in a while. You can tell it was one that was well loved. It's got a good dent in it. Doing eyes first, because I remember this palette having fallout. I'm going to start right up here in that transition socket line. Lightly blending that out. So I mentioned a while back that we went and got Indian food for the first time. We just had an Indian restaurant open up in my city. And surprisingly, that's the first time we've had one. We have everything else. But yeah, it opened up, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and we just kind of thought about it. I'm like, hey, let's go try that place. We've been back twice now, and it has become one of my favorite restaurants. The food is so good. I mean, impressed with everything. So last night, we ordered an appetizer of the samosas, just like the regular ones. It has potatoes and peas and spices, and it come with a sweeter sauce, and then one that was more cilantro. So good. Oh my goodness, so good. Okay, let's take Burnt Orange now. No, Real Gar. We're gonna take Real Gar now. Those were amazing. Just the flavor, the bread on them. Oh my goodness. And then I got the Kashmiri Rogan Josh. and in love. It's a lamb stew. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I've got some left over I'm really happy about that I get to eat for lunch later. And everything at this restaurant is just plated so beautifully. It comes in these just really pretty good pots and stuff to the table. It's just such a nice experience eating there. The music is lovely. The atmosphere is nice. It's very chill and quiet, but feels kind of romantic and low lighting. Like, it's just a really nice experience. I definitely found favorite food. And my husband got butter chicken, and I tried that. Ooh, I really like that too. Haven't found anything I dislike yet. I like it all. I'm so glad my husband suggested that for dinner tonight, or last night, because I was like, I don't know what I want. We thought about going like to Texas Roadhouse, and Texas Roadhouse is for some reason just a nightmare. It's always people parked on the side of the road. Like we don't have other restaurants, you know? And around the corner from it, though, is the Indian place. And he's like, hey, you want to go there? I'm like, hell yeah. It was such a good dinner. And on Sundays, apparently they do a buffet. And I really need to go check that out because you can just sample a lot of different foods. I'm very excited about that idea of a buffet. Yesterday was Mardi Gras. And did I do anything for Mardi Gras? Nope, not a damn thing. My lazy butt stayed home. Yeah, I slept most of the day. Going back into a little bit of burnt orange, just to blend those edges. But then we went to dinner, so I did do something. But yeah, what classic Indian dishes do you think I need to try next? Because this place pretty much has like all the classics. Or, you know, like all the popular things that you'd expect to find at an Indian place. So let me know what other things you think I like. I like goat meat. I love lamb. Love chicken dishes. I don't mind spicy. It's like, the Rogan Josh it's a little spicy, but to me it's not like burn your mouth, can't eat spicy. It's like kind of that just right spice. Last time, I cannot remember what it was called that I got, but it was goat in like rice and kind of a casserole situation with a bread over top. It was very good. And I ate on that for 3 days because it was so much food. I think it was actually a family order dish. I just didn't know that. Okay, just throwing it back with the makeup look too. This is definitely like a look I would have done when this palette came out. I'm going to take this little flat lay down brush. I'm going to go into the shade at Red Ochre. Right here. I'm going to start that on the lid and lash line. And kind of let that blend up into Real Gar. So pretty. Red Ochre is one of my favorite eyeshadows, like, in existence. I just think it's such a pretty shade. And you know, this palette is pretty old, and it's still performing quite nicely. It's one that I just, like, hang on to for more nostalgia reasons. Because it was, I don't know. To me, it was a magical time in the beauty community when this palette came out. Before everybody hated each other. Just a nice time. The world was so much simpler then. We're on the brink of nuclear war. Pre-COVID, things were just a lot nicer and easier. I got this palette a little after I'd gotten married. But if I had this palette then, this would have been the palette I would have used on my wedding day. I think I got this in like right at the end of 2015 maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Time. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a little more Real Gar on a Sigma E33. This is a detail diffuse crease. I'm just going to bring that around this edge. That nice warm glow. I love warm eyeshadows. I love orange eyeshadows. But yeah, I think Angelica was saying about like this time in the beauty community. It was when there wasn't a million palettes on the market. And when a new palette came out, it was very exciting. And now it's like, oh, look, another new palette. Okay. Whatever. I don't get nearly as excited about new eyeshadow palettes like I used to And I miss that. I get more excited about foundations now and like skin products, complexion. I'm going to stick with the little detail diffuse crease for a minute here and go into Cypress Umber, which is this dark brown on the end, matte. Another one I've hit pan on. I'm going to tuck it right here on this outer corner. I'm going to take a favorite little tiny brush. This is a Sony Kashik, like detail something brush. I cannot remember what it's called. It's rubbed off. And take some more of that dark brown, burnt umber, cypress umber. We can write that lash line just a bit where we apply the eyeliner. Okay, that looks good. Yep, definitely got some fallout. I'm going to clean this little brush off. I'm going to take some of Primavera, which is the warm golden champagne right here. I'm going to put this on the inner corner. That's such a pretty color. And then build up just a little bit more red ochre on the lid. Maybe I'll take a touch of Venetian red over that. Yeah, just bring a little bit more reddishness in. And I'm just blending it softly, kind of up and out. And I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush and just come around the edges and soften everything out. Alright, and we'll take maybe a touch of golden ochre. Just right here. Okay, pretty. Now, let's clean up some of this fallout real quick because we got a little bit from the brown. Now for skin, I'm actually going to dive into something new, but it's a reformulated older product that's kind of was viral-ish. And it's the True Match Super Blendable, but it's a reformulated version of the original True Match, now with a pop. So we're going to just go in with this for our foundation really quickly. Pop this on with a sponge. I think at the time I was really into my NARS Soft Matte Radiant, I think is what it was called, foundation. That was my end-all be-all of foundation in Mont Blanc, which was not a great shade match for me. It was kind of yellow. Never found a good shade match in NARS as far as foundations go. They may have added shades since then. That was 2015-ish. But the concealer, I still love the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I stand by that product. I loved it. Never was a Shape Tape person, really. And I still don't think I would be like that into Shape Tape. Even with, like, applying it with a light hand. This actually is like a surprisingly good amount of coverage that I just don't expect it to have. Let's do a little bit of contour before we go into concealer. I'm going to use cream product. I'm going to use the Fenty and Amber. Another product that was pretty viral when it came out, especially the shade Amber for us ghosts out here. We loved it. So I'm doing a little bit of this, just tapping it. And take my sponge, just pat over to kind of blend that out. Right now, concealer, I'm going to use the Catrice Liquid Camouflage. I think this one was really popular when it launched as well. And it's a really nice concealer. To me, it is a really good like full coverage option that doesn't look incredibly dry on the under eye. You guys remember the Makeup of Mario palette with ABH? And I wanted that palette so bad. I just never got it. I think it was sold out by the time I decided I wanted it. Were there any viral products that you just had zero interest in? Like, especially like back then when every new launch was viral? Let me know about that. Mine was the Amrezy highlighter. I knew that wasn't going to work on me. Just was not interested. And again, also Tarte Shape Tape. I almost called it Sharp Tape. Again, I don't know why. It just comes out that way. But yeah, just wasn't interested in it. Like, yeah, it's not the product for me. Used to try a sample of it, like a mini. Wasn't it. And her eyes look shockingly bright. Especially with the contrast with the eyeshadow. Don't worry, it'll come together. Trust the process. Seeing whatever is left on my sponge there around. Now I'm gonna set everything with some powder. I'm just gonna use my number 7 powder because it's in front of me. Oh wait, oh I do, hold on. I do have a viral loose powder that was really hyped back in the day. The Fit Me loose powder. I've not reached for this in so long. In fact, it was in the declutter bin. This is like my 3rd one, but I just found better powders I liked more. So I'm gonna take just a little bit of this. Oh, the Laura Mercier setting powder. Never was into it either. Again, it's one that I tried a sample of and it looked so yellow on my under eyes. I was like, nope, that one is not for me. It is far too yellow. What I'm doing here is getting some powder on here and then working off the excess onto the back of my hand. Not baking, just pressing it into the skin. You know, this is still a really pretty powder. I might keep it. Man, this was a good one. And it does look so smooth. So flawless. It's a tad like heavy in comparison to a lot of the powders I like now. It's still really pretty. I think I'll try to get a little more use out of this one before I declutter it. So I pull things to the side out of my collection before I declutter them to give them another chance to kind of remind myself how I feel about them, because my thoughts change. And you know, bronzer, we definitely need some bronzer. We're gonna go with the NARS Laguna, a very much a classic. I just have this little tiny guy of it, and it's all I've needed because I don't reach for it a ton. It's a good bronzer though. Like, I see why it was popular. And I was shocked that it does work on me. You know what viral bronzer I could not get behind? Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Don't like it. I don't like the formula on their bronzers. I think they sit on my skin weird. They look powdery and they look orange. They just look very obvious, and everyone I've tried has been that way. Let's do that lower lash line quickly because it's not going to be anything too complicated. I'm going to take some of my eyeliner. In there, give it a smudge. And clean this little brush off, and then I'm going to take some of Cypress Umber. Come right up there. Close to the lashes. Alright, now I'm going to take that flat brush we used a while ago. Sure it is clean. And I'm going to take some of Real Gar on one side of it and tuck it just under here. Same brush, or you know, I'm going to switch over to this little, back to a little detail diffuse crease. Take a bit of burnt orange, come just underneath there. Really blow that out, make it smoky. Well, this palette makes me just want to do like really grungy eyes, but it does. Some palettes just do that. They like to just bring out the grungy looks in me. Let me take this little brush again. I'm take a little bit of red ochre. I didn't bring any of that in. Lower. And just a little blending. Okay, and we'll get back to that little detail tiny brush. A little bit more of Primavera. Right here. Wrench a little blending brush. Just run that right under here with whatever is left on it. I'm going to take another old viral product here, Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This one happens to be an ethereal, which is the white shade, but it is my favorite. I think I have all the light shades of this And ethereal has always been my go-to, my number one. I like to take it on kind of a flat type of brush. I think this is a blush brush from e.l.f. And what I like to do with it is take it right under here. And it just softens out that lower lash line and brings a little bit of life back to the face, a little bit of glow. And use it to kind of blend around the eyes just a bit. And to just kind of help everything look nice and blended. Just one of those magical products. I love a good finishing powder. And of course this eye's watering just a little bit as usual. Now I'm going to take, I think let's do some Luminoso now. Oh, Luminoso is such a classic. I still think Luminoso is one of the most beautiful blushes like on the market. It's so pretty. It's definitely still a favorite. I still reach for it pretty regularly. Like, no shame there. Luminoso is it. Nikki Tutorials is right about this one. I never did do the Nivea aftershave. I never tried that one though. I don't know why I didn't. I usually did anything Nikki told me to do. But that was one that's like, I think because I wasn't into like moisturizing or gripping primers. I'm still not. I don't care about like the Milk gripping primer or the e.l.f. one. It's just not I don't know, not something I look for in a primer. I'm more of a pore filling type of gal. Recently I've gotten into like just not using primers. Using something like maybe like a vitamin rich face base or just my skincare or the e.l.f. Low Glow. That has been my favorite primer type products lately, and that has SPF 30 in it. Okay. Now we get some life back in the face. That's still just, God, it's such a beautiful blush. The formula. And I do think they reformulated this. And it's a bit glowier now, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I feel like somebody said that when they were reviewing the Luminoso collection that Milani just put out. Which I'm not interested in that palette. But I'm kind of interested in that liquid highlighter cheek product. All right, now we'll take the Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder, and I'm so lit. This was like one of my absolute favorite highlighters way back when. So messy, so messy. So I'm gonna take just a little bit, because this one is like blinding. Just pop a little bit on here. All right, with a light hand, it's really pretty. This was definitely one of those See You from Space highlighters, alien slut highlighters, as Teresa's Dead would say. But I still think it's pretty. Wet n Wild does a really good job on highlighters. Like, there's a lot of products that they just nail, and I've never been disappointed in any of their highlighting products. All right. And just a teensy bit is all you need. Like, they did not need to package this in such a big thing. They could have just put like a mini and you had still been working on that. Okay, I feel like today is a falsies day. So I'm going to put on some false lashes and mascara, touch my brows up, and we'll be back for the lips in just a moment. I just did like some half lashes, which actually they're full lashes. I just cut them pretty much in half. I think they were like the style called like Disco Groovy or something from Kiss. They were a collaboration with Meredith Duxbury. This is a different lash, but I cannot find the package for these. I don't know where it went. I usually keep them until I'm done with the lash so I can remember what they are. Let's go ahead and take the hair out of these little clippies, and we can do our lips and be done. Oh my goodness. And the fluff. A bit of a root fluff. Never hurt nobody. Alright, and we'll pop on a necklace just to complete the look. Here's a little wild today, and it's just going to be wild. It's just one of those days where we're going to have some wild, crazy hair, and I'm not mad at it. I actually kind of like my hair wild. Onto lips. I could not think of a viral lip product necessarily, except for those stupid Kylie lip kits, which I never did try just because I felt like I was too old for Kylie makeup when that came out. Like, I was probably, I don't know, in my 20s at that time, and I still was like, nope, that's for teenagers. I was just never into it. I don't know, I don't even think about makeup that way normally, but there was just something about it that was like, this just is not for me. This does not appeal to me. I'm not into it, and have stood firm and don't have anything from Kylie makeup, beauty, whatever still, and don't ever intend on really purchasing any of it or trying it. The girl's got enough money, she don't need mine, and I just don't really care about Kardashians or anything like that too terribly much. Occasionally I'm like interested in like beauty secrets and stuff like that, like, you know, I'll watch them like put their makeup on. I watch like their makeup artists and stuff do makeup. I just have zero interest in them as humans. Just being honest. Alright, and for lips though, because I could not think of anything else. Oh, the KVD, back when it was Kat Von D, Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. Those were pretty popular. I do remember that. And the NARS matte lip crayons, which I do have a ton of, and I still stand by those and love them. But for this look, I figured since we're already using ABH, we'll go in with ABH lip combo here. This is the liner in Cool Brown, which is not cool brown, it's more of a warm brown. I don't know why they called it cool brown. I don't know where they got that from. It is just not a cool brown. It's a little bit more warm, neutral brown, if anything. And line the lips. I didn't contour my lips, I forgot. I've been doing that lately. Put like a little bit of cream contour around them. Lately. I've done that for a long time, but I've got back into it. I think I got that from Scott Barnes back in the day. Oh, I remember the color that was really popular back then on lips was very that mauve grayish color. Oh, I loved it so much. I still have Gone Grayish from Maybelline, which is discontinued. It's still such a pretty lipstick. It really is kind of undupable. Like, there's ColourPop's come close, but I think it was Hannah Louise Poston, and she did a video trying to dupe that lipstick, and I was like, you mean it's discontinued? It was so good. It was such a good shade. It was oddly flattering on ghostly skin like mine. I loved that whole line. I think they were called like the Loaded Bolds from Maybelline. Such a good line of lipstick. Oh, and this lipstick is ABH lipstick in Toffee. Anyway, this is our look all complete. Let me know your thoughts below on older products, or some of those older viral products that you miss, that you loved, that you still use. Let me know down below. And yeah, I got like crazy hair today. I don't know what's going on. It's like just weird. It's weird today. And, you know, let me know your thoughts below on old classics that used to be viral back in the good old days of the beauty community. Modern Renaissance is still forever one of my top favorite palettes, just because this was such a beautiful color story. It really does. It's, you know, neutral with what the two pops of reds in here. They're not too dissimilar. One's more pinky. I mean, it's not, you know, the most groundbreaking palette, but at the time it sure was. And I still think it's a beautiful color story and still gravitate towards this kind of color story. Like if I saw a new palette that looked just like this, I would probably still be like, oh, that's pretty, and contemplate getting it. But yeah, I think ABH's quality has always been solid to me. I mean, there was some hiccups with the subculture, but I guess I got one of the reformulated subcultures because I thoroughly enjoyed that palette. And I was so excited about it. Remember when that was like the biggest scandal, was just the palette was powdery and patchy. Simpler time. Just some silly drama that wasn't so serious. Because man, some of that, the beauty community's drama got really dark. I'm like, oh no, this is, no. Why is it so, no. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.